Greetings, you fellow sane people who simply enjoy talking to the plants, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the first video in the 3.9 patch, because this is gonna be a lot of fun. So originally I was kind of ignoring the 3.9 patch, I was doing some other things, then I finally read the patch notes, and wow, they've done something I have wanted to see for such a long time. I absolutely adore habitats, in theory, but in terms of gameplay, I've never really enjoyed them, especially with the Void Dweller origin. I've always felt they needed a little bit more to make them a bit more interesting, and I really think they've actually done that, at least in my little test I did earlier. So now you may only have one habitat per system, and then you can build orbitals, which will increase the size of the habitat. More districts, more building slots, more unique well, not unique, but more specialized districts. You can make your habitats absolutely massive, and having one of these primary complexes in every system I think just looks and feels so much better than the old system of having loads of habitats absolutely everywhere. And of course, we're going to do this the right way, by spreading our gardens throughout the galaxy while destroying all non-plant life, or at least using them. So as the story goes, with the assembly of Bark, the Empire we're playing, with the brand new portrait and their cute little birds, is that originally our world was a lush forest, a beauty within the galaxy, and then non-plants began to live there, began to evolve, and then shortly after, the planet exploded. Now of course, likely, it wasn't the non-plants' fault. But our species really doesn't believe that. They believe somehow the mammals of the galaxy, the robots, everything else, conspired to destroy our perfection and our beauty. So because of that now, we are forced into habitats, building these floating gardens from system to system, and we are going to be despoilers with a distinguished admiralty. We are going to be stealing populations to put them at work in the gardens in order to turn them into mulch and to make us bloom once again. And eventually, we'll use the new civic, which is selective kinship. This will make us happier if we have other plants within our gardens, but also it'll make us happier if we are oppressing non-plants within our gardens, because how this works is that citizen happiness, while oppressing other species classes, aka non-plants, is increased by 2.5%, and if we have other plants, it's increased by 7.5%. We can also make friends with other plant empires, which should offset some of the negatives from barbaric despoilers, which normally makes people really, really dislike us. Another reason why I've gone with this, honestly, is because I want to stress test the habitats. What happens when they do start getting overcrowded? Although they are a lot bigger than they used to be, I'm still fairly certain they're going to be a bit more cumbersome than worlds, though I will be happy if I am proven wrong there, and having barbaric despoilers means we instantly have the ability to raid worlds and steal populations without needing the Ascension perk. So that's what we're going with. Also, Distinguished Admiralty means we have higher level leaders, well, admirals, and our ruler is going to be an admiral. So we should be able to get a lot of bonuses very early on, and I do believe we can also get lots of alloys from the habitats, since their industrial districts give you 2 metallurgists rather than just a single one, so we are going to be getting lots and lots of resource in the early game, meaning we can do a very aggressive rush, and if we win those first few fights, we're kind of set. Now, in terms of our difficulty, we're going to be going with a medium-sized galaxy, maximum crisis strength, and we are going to be setting the crisis a full 100 years early. We are going to have difficulty set at Grand Admiral and scaling set to mid-game, which means the enemy are going to get all their cheaty bonuses in only the first 50 years. Before then, they're on the same ground as us, and that's when we need to be incredibly aggressive. I wasn't going to turn on scaling difficulty, but I really want the endgame to be super early this time, because I want to see how well we can scale after being aggressive in the early game, so I feel like this is still going to be plenty difficult because the crisis is so early at maximum difficulty. And also, I am currently doing a full playthrough in the background, in addition to this one, where we're having all 3 crisis types manually spawn in with all of these settings. So that's going to happen soon as well on the channel. It's so good to be back in Stellaris, and now we go to the galaxy at large. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here, as is tradition with these full playthroughs. Just here to say firstly, this was an absolute joy to record. It turns out the 3.9 update was one I was kind of just not really aware of, and I really wish I'd paid attention to, because there is so much stuff I really enjoy in this update, and you'll see most of it throughout this video and the next full playthrough, in which I'm finally keeping a promise for a certain triple boss fight near the end. So I really do hope you enjoy this one. Habitats have always been something I really enjoy, and this has just made me enjoy them even even more. Though I will say, throughout this video, my throat may sound a little bit bad, and that's because I have been on a vacation for the last week and managed to catch a pretty nasty flu, so I wasn't particularly well while recording this, but I really wanted to record it anyway. And finally, likes and comments help out so much with this type of content because sadly YouTube does love to bury long-form content like this unless it gets loads of interaction, so if you would like to see Stellaris continued on the channel, likes and comments are the best way to show that, and allow me to record the videos I really love to record. So I hope you enjoy, and now for a really weird build, which doesn't suit habitats, but really does weirdly. Lots of weirdness. Into the vast. And so begins our garden in the top left of the galaxy, and yeah, instantly leveled up both of our admirals, the Warlord and our Minister of Defense. Both of them now have Skirmisher rank 2, so loads of extra sublight speed, a full plus 30% between them, and an additional plus 10% damage between them as well, which is a lovely start. So then, let's take a quick look-see at the habitat itself. So this is the floating garden where we are forced to live after our world was destroyed. Definitely by the foul mammals of the galaxy. The necroids, the toxoids, the aquatics, everything like that clearly conspired against our planty perfection. So next to the floating garden, we have one of the orbitals. This is, I believe, a major orbital. So we have the major orbitals and minor orbitals. So how these work is we can build them above all the different things in the system. For instance, this one is above the gas giant, and depending on where we build them, we get different district types unlocked on the floating garden or the habitat of the system. So right now we have some research districts, reactor districts, all of these are unlocked because of the orbitals, and we can add more of them. And for every orbital, it increases our maximum districts by 0.5, so every 2 gives us a whole new district, and every 2 of these also give an additional building slot. The minor do the exact same thing, except don't give the maximum districts, which is definitely the more important thing because districts now also increase building slots on your habitats, whereas before that simply didn't happen. So likely, by the end, most of the habitats will have the full building slots unlocked and a very good amount of districts. You can also see, as we get more tech, you can increase the maximum districts for your habitats, which I believe do scale with your orbitals, though that's something I'll need to find out later on. Okay, lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's get started then. Let's explore the galaxy, find some new places for habitats, and yes, I will be having a habitat for every system, even tiny systems like this, which really aren't that good, because as you can see, there are absolutely no deposits here. Well, there might be some deposits later, but there's very few worlds here, so the habitat will be very small, but still contribute to the empire size. But I don't care, because we need gardens everywhere. I should also mention at this point that the trade system has been changed with the clerks and everything else. We now have a new job, which is the traders, which are somewhere between a merchant and the clerks. The clerks now also produce a trade value percentage bonus for your world. So for every clerk, you get plus 1% to the total trade value. Doesn't sound like much, but I can imagine that scales very, very quickly. Sadly, merchant guilds no longer buff your clerks though, but they do buff your traders. And you get traders through things like the commercial zones, and you can add more if you go down the route of mercantile. The other full playthrough I'm currently working on is going to be using a lot of that, because trade value has always been very, very fun. Really? The one time I don't want this precursor, because I'm not going to step foot on any worlds. Well, actually, I guess if I can turn them into Gaia worlds, maybe it's worth it, even with the Void Dweller trait, which will make us weaker on those worlds. But Gaia worlds are very, very good. Yes, it seems like early economy is really nice with this origin. Lots of alloys, lots of consumer goods, lots of pretty much everything else. I'm not going really for tech at the moment, and I have hired a few too many leaders, though I am going down the route of aptitude to begin with. I want to really, really level up all of our admirals, so the next council spot will be for a admiral as well. Yeah, definitely, since we want the ship starting experience and admiral experience gain. So we're going to have loads of very high level admirals and loads of corvettes for them to actually control. We should be able to be incredibly aggressive, so I'm really hoping we find neighbours quickly. Well, we found our first neighbour, and annoyingly they are machines, so we won't really be able to steal them. I've also gone a bit over the top of our leaders right now, since I'm trying to scout out as much as possible, so I'm hoping I'll find some other empires nearby soon. Other than that, we have loads of archaeology sites, which is lovely, and we have our first new habitat. Our secondary garden. So this system is pretty barren of anything but research, so this will definitely end up becoming our research habitat, we'll have at least 3 sets of the districts, which means that we'll have 9 research districts. Which is pretty good, actually, since that is 3 researchers per district. 27 researchers just from districts is not bad at all. For now, though, I just want to be aggressive. Let me find some people. Okay, so the robot empire to our east is not actually very aggressive to us, which is great. They are pretty much equal to us, though, so we're just going to leave them alone for now. I'm going to continue to build up our fleets, and we have found another empire. Please, don't be machines. It looks like they're out to try and capture this world or something. Well, they don't look like machines. Well, saying that, actually, what ship types do machines normally use in the default game? I can't remember. Or is it different each time? Anyway, keep building corvettes. Starting to put down some more major orbitals in order to get some more district size in my main habitat, because if this empire is what I want it to be, we're going to be stealing some populations really soon. Mammals. Oh, mammals who are already at war. Okay, well, we are going to take advantage of that right now. I was going to wait a little bit longer, but let's just go. So what I'm going to do is make a claim on their homeworld. That way, they can't just end the war through status quo or giving... Well, they can't just end the war by giving up. If we just go for plunder or something, after doing too much damage, stealing too many populations, they can just give up and give us money. Obviously, what we want is their entire homeworld's worth of population. So, let's go. This way they'll never give up because they won't just willingly give up a world which we haven't actually captured, and I'm not sending any ground forces. We have declared war to safeguard our interests. Hello, world. There's only 4 there, and prohibit their surrender. Lovely, our very first population. So what I'm going to do is default rights... Yeah, owned populations, All I want is population controls enabled. As the default, which means now if I do that, you should be... Yeah, population controls enabled, that way they can't breed on our worlds. So, that's now in our home world, which means we should all be a little bit happier, right? Oh, I don't have the civic yet. Well, eventually, I'll get extra happiness for my people because of that. Okay, I think we may as well just go straight for their homeworld while their forces are clearly attacking the Imperium. Ooh, they're winning versus the Imperium, but they're definitely over there. I want to start bombarding the homeworld as soon as possible. And actually, I'm going to make a claim. It's more expensive now. I wish I thought of this sooner, but I am going to claim this system and try and conquer it. The reason is I want more of the systems in the nebula. We're going to be using a lot of gas later on, so that's going to be really handy. We're not a very nice empire, are we? Whilst they're at war, we are taking full advantage and claiming all of their people. Is that enough ground forces? Can't imagine there's too many armies here. Perfect. Okay, lovely. Do we want any more of these systems? I mean, really, we do want as much stuff in the Vale as possible, but I really wish I did this before the war, since it's now more expensive. We could send at the species we're collecting to these continental worlds and everything, but I've already decided in my head I only want to have habitats. Okay, you can go and help out research there. Actually, I might get rid of you. We have too many scientists, and I want to level up our leaders faster, so I'm afraid you are gone. Serve as well, but we need more leader experience. Well, I think this may be one of the most successful raids I've ever done, which is lovely. So we have another world now we're bombarding. The home world is rapidly losing population. Only 11 left now. They actually had equal fleet power to us, but they kept attacking us over and over again with single fleets like that. So a 2k fleet versus my total of over 6,000, which was in the system, over and over and over again. I mean, I shouldn't complain, but it was very silly. We are now building some more habitats as well. That's where all of our resources are going. So after this war, I'll probably go after the Imperium. Or we'll try and make the Foundry our vassal. I'm not sure which, because, yeah, the Foundry is also pretty equal to us. I think we're beating it in terms of our economy, but that's it. It's kind of annoying. I was looking at the habitability, and I've just realised this species is not very good on our habitats. Thankfully, it doesn't matter as much, especially if they're working as clerks, since the minus habitability isn't really affecting their job performance as much as it might do. So I think next, what we're going to do is attack the Foundry. Although they are on good terms with us, they're kind of blocking me from doing anything else. I can't really take their populations. Well, I can. That's how I'm going to weaken them. But I am going to go with the Plunder war type, which means if I win, I also get a big cache of energy and minerals, I believe. Our fleets are looking fantastic, to be completely honest. Our leaders are still leveling up. We now are finally on our leader capacity, so they're gaining experience as fast as they should be doing. Our Lord High Admiral, for instance, is just about to level up. More levels means more damage from our fleets. We've got so much extra sublight speed as well. Our corvettes are very, very quick. So making more of the major orbitals, both in our home system and in our secondary system, which is our trade value world. So hopefully soon, we'll have enough major orbitals to make some more habitation districts, which means more clerks. At the moment we have 28 clerks, so that's plus 28% to our trade value here, and I guess I should go down mercantile after I finish supremacy. Of course, we're going supremacy now because the machines were equal to us. I think they're now slightly inferior, and we want to keep that going. Oh, interesting. So this, which normally just give more building slots, now also increases habitat maximum districts as well. That is lovely to see. Now, what we really need to do is start shifting into tech right now. We're so behind on that, it's kind of getting silly. Beautiful. The hive mind is currently attacking the machines, and by the looks of things, the machines are losing. So we're going to go to war right now to make sure that they never become a threat again. Or we could wait and potentially make them our vassal afterwards. If they lose, the machines would probably join us willingly. So we are at war once again with the Covenant to make them our tributary. Hopefully after that's done, the war between the hive mind and the machine empire will be finished. We can see who the victor is there and then decide our next plot accordingly. There is a Federation group over here and then just a massive group over here. So I guess they're all the next targets. For now, kind of just being mean since we have beaten these people before. Do I want to steal their populations again? Kind of, but also if they're going to be our tributary, I would like some resource from them, honestly. Oh! I forgot! I made a claim on their homeworld, didn't I? Ah. Well, that's going to be annoying. You have jobs. I will get rid of this colony, it's going to take a while. Thanks to us having budding, which allows us to have population assembly from just existing, and the fact I can now build my clone vats, we're now producing a lot of our main species, which is really, really nice, and I need to keep on building more habitats in order to house them all. So far, really, really loving the changes to habitats. Again, this is my first attempt with it. Maybe in the future I'll see problems or what have you, and maybe want to go back to the old ways, but at the moment I do love having the central habitat system and then all these smaller orbitals, which I assume people are living on as well. Just such a cool concept in my head, and that half the time is all I care about in Stellaris. Personally, I'm more for the vibes of the Empire and how the Empire feels to build in my head. I can't do words well today. I am still under the weather, mind you. We are now able to start producing cruisers, and we're building a lot of them very quickly. Our main fleet is now 34,000. Oh, because of Vigilant. Vigilant is so lovely at making yourself look so much scarier. So we're going to go to war with the Foundry next, because again, they are just blocking everything I want to do, although they are friendly with us and still equal to us. They were superior to us fleet power-wise for a good while. We're now back to being equal. We need to attack them, we need to weaken them, and we need to destroy their home system. So we're just going to bombard this, steal the populations, and just destroy them. With that gone, they should be weak enough for us to roll over next time. We could just claim the system, but I do want influence to upgrade our vassals and everything else still.
Attacking enemy assets.
Some of their fleets are currently out of position. They're currently putting loads of fleets over here. I don't know what's gone on. I'm assuming there's a purifier here. There's a weird gap, and it split their borders at some point, and I have not been able to contact them, so I'm assuming it's a purifier or something like that anyway.
Attacking enemy assets.
Very glad I went down the route of supremacy, so I'm doing bonus damage to stations, because they have lots of them. Ah, they've started to stack up. There's definitely at least one more 20k fleet somewhere. Okay, I'm going to back up for now. Let's go towards their home system. Let's see if we can draw them out. Never mind. Stay where you are. Wow, they really did just send one of their fleets on its own. That was incredibly silly by the AI. If they stacked up, they could beat us. Simple as that. Without the vigilant bonus, as you can see, that one main fleet is a lot weaker. Where's the other 20k then? So in total, they had much... Well, not much more fleet power than us, but they definitely had more fleet power than us, but they've sent them one at a time, so let's just melt them as best we can. We're also very Corvette heavy, which means we're really good in these very short-range fights. So that already done, let's go to the homeworld. We are just going for plunder. Yeah, relative navy strength has now been completely destroyed. Thank you, terrible AI decisions.
Vessels.
The extra sublight speed as well I've got is just so fun. I don't know how I'm going to go back from this, honestly. So we did steal a couple of populations, but I've decided to go for all the different stations because they're reinforcing way too frequently, and it's getting very annoying. We should be able to grab maybe another 10 population at least, so we're not weakening them as much as I thought, but at least we are completely dismantling their military, so next time, again, we can be a bit more aggressive. I'll have to make some claims or something else. We were victorious, giving us 1,500 energy, 1,500 minerals, and harming the mineral and energy production of the foundry. In addition to that, we've taken, as I last checked, about 40 population off them. Wasn't as much as I'd have liked, but obviously that's still going to be a big dent. I think I've also caused a lot of havoc on the homeworld. Yeah, some destroyed systems and everything else, so things looking... Wait, was that Mastery of Nature? They're gone with that Ascension perk. I did not expect that from the Machine Empire. Where is Mastery of Nature anyway? I have not used that in such a very, very, very long time. There it is. Clear blocker cost minus 33%, and you get more districts on your worlds. Okay. Oh, they've changed VAT grown. So it no longer has the minus population growth. It's just no population growth at all. It's only assembly speed. That'll be fine if I had a secondary species which were also living amongst us. So I guess I could split into two subspecies, one which are VAT grown, one which aren't, but I don't think I can be bothered with that right now because that would be a lot of micromanagement. For now, I'll leave it as it is. So I kind of want robust, just for that extra lifespan, because it means our people would survive until the very end of the game, which obviously is lovely. Could go with repugnant. So they're big-brained, lots of alloys and consumer goods, loads of extra lifespan and a bit more resource, and they're still budding. Yep, I'm going to stick with that for now. And they're also no longer unruly, so less empire size. Okay, there we go. This is the last rank of our habitats. So another plus 10% to the max districts, which is great. Our home habitat is now pretty much full. We have 88 people. We have 8 more jobs left and only 3 housing. Now, here's a problem. The Chosen are now breaking through, and by the looks of things, they're about equal to me, if not slightly stronger than me. So that's going to be an issue. I've just made a vassal of this massive empire, the Consciousness. They were at war with the Commonalty. They drew, I think, but they were now inferior fleet power-wise. I have had to sacrifice a lot of tech to make them a vassal. In fact, lots of it. But I will be able to change that as soon as we can negotiate terms again, because then they'll trust us and like us. And what's not to like? We're just despoilers. Okay, so here's the plan currently. There's only 20 years until the endgame crisis can arrive. Now, of course, naturally, normally it takes between 10 and 15 years, but that's when it could potentially arrive, and it would definitely destroy us then. Absolutely no chance of survival. So we need to start strengthening up quick. As soon as this war's over with our ally... Oh, actually, that's you, isn't it, attacking now, the Hive Mind? Now, once this war's over, we'll take over the Foundry as a new vassal. The League over here are constantly at war with all of these, and then they're not doing great, so once again, we could persuade them to join us. The Commonalty hates us, I'm not entirely sure why, and they're currently fighting off the Purifiers, and actually not doing a terrible job about it. It's kind of stalemated now. The Federation over here and this vassal group, I'm probably going to just leave. we are still building more habitats. As you can see, we already have 11 of them, so soon every single system in our territory will indeed have a habitat, which was the little mini challenge I set myself anyway. Our population is pretty big considering all habitats. I have upgraded my home orbital, my home habitat, into its maximum rank, and this is how it works. So this is a rank 1 into rank 2, and it increases the maximum district slots from major orbitals, in addition to building slots and habitability. All really powerful, especially in systems like our home system, which had lots and lots of major orbital potential, because it was a very, very big system. It was a 3-starred system. So, after upgrading our main one to 3, which just does the exact same as that, well, we have lots and lots of districts now. So, loads more homes, loads more everything else. I think we're probably going to have about 120 to 150 population total for our single habitat. Which is just really cool. Waging war once again in order to attack the Foundry, this time to make them into our tributary, and thus we control about half of the galaxy. Despite this, I'm still very nervous about the endgame crisis. One of our fleets has already reached the 100k kind of threshold of the size I want my fleets to be versus the crisis, but we only have one, and we definitely can't afford many others. Our resources are still a little bit scarce, to be completely honest. If we had the full 25 years in addition to this, like I normally have, because normally I like the idea of the crisis being 75 years early, not 100 years early, I think we'd be absolutely fine. I'm very nervous about this run. Not doing any repeatables yet either. 10 years until the endgame crisis can arrive. We are getting there, taking over the Machine Empire, though it is taking a while. Every single one of their worlds has been massively reinforced with very, very powerful ground armies, and honestly, their fleets weren't small enough for me to just ignore them and move forward, so everything's just taking longer than expected. In fact, we have more war exhaustion than they do because of all of this. Still, we're getting very close to having an orbital system in every single system. There's a habitat in every single system. Only this little cluster up here, I think, still needs to go. Okay, the Foundry is ours. We have just over 5 years. We're now researching the first of our megastructures. I have caved because I was scared, and I've grabbed Defender of the Galaxy. This means people are also now way more my friends. So that's good. Everyone likes me. I said that weirdly, but everyone likes me, and that's the important thing there. Oh! Damage to crisis-seeking civilizations. Huh. I mean, it used to just say plus 50% damage against endgame factions or something similar to that, didn't it? Now it's more specific. So the Scourge, the Unbidden, Aberrant, okay, they're all just different versions of the Unbidden. The Contingency, Nanites? Oh. Interesting. And then more damage versus crisis-seeking civilizations, so that would be those who are going with Become the Crisis, which I was going to, but I didn't have as much unity as I'd hoped at this point. So I just got the stuff I felt like I needed. Okay, so the commonality over here has been absorbed by the League. I was hoping to absorb it, but sadly a bit too slow there. You're a bulwark of the Union. Okay, then all this over here is one big vassal group. This is a federation. There's not much more we can really do. I know there's a ruined matter decompressor. Okay, I want that. Okay, new target, go over here. But I think there's a Leviathan here. We really should do some Leviathan hunting, get the rest of the unity we can. Ooh, and Cloud Lightning would be lovely as well. Okay, so, any fleet, please go here. One of the researchers, please follow along. That's fine. The rest of you are going to go hunt whatever the Leviathan was over there. I actually have no idea which one it is, but we are using pretty general-purpose weapons, so it should be okay, I think. All stack there, though, because I don't want to... Actually, there's not much here. Never mind. Go at your own pace, it's fine. You can just brush through those. Then, I need to find other Leviathans. Is that a Leviathan? It's a single entity, and, yep, it's the Ether Drake.
Vessels upgraded.
Yeah, so I am going to be using Disruptors, Cloud Lightning, and our lovely Strike Craft, but at the moment, we're using... It's not the Tachyon Lance, it's the weaker Tachyon Lance, the red rubbish Tachyon Lance. Either way, we have that currently, so... Yep, let's do the parade, thank you very much. So it means we're actually really good versus the Leviathans at the moment, so it's better I do these fights now than after I upgrade them, weirdly enough. Okay, there's something here, no idea what that is. Any other idea where the Leviathans are? Are you a Leviathan? Yes, you are the Scrapper. What I need to do is build the Hyperline, not the Hyperlines. I always forget what they're even called, because I never build them, even though I should Hyper-Realize. The problem is, I still need the influence to build all of these habitats. God, I'm getting tired, so my stamina is fighting me. Okay, the Ether Drake is down as well. Would we actually be able to get over here in time? I don't know. Oh, actually, what I do need to do, now I think about it, I still haven't opened up this wormhole. If we're lucky, maybe we'll be the one that goes right next to it.
Vessels upgraded.
And it goes to... oh, it's just that. Okay, well, on the upside, at least our territory is still nice and safe and easy to protect, so one good thing. Ooh, a couple of years just to get there, but it would be quite a nice bonus. I think I'm going to go for it. The extra unity you get is just so good. Ah, sadly, they already beat me to it. That's fine. Okay, return home. You really need to upgrade. Honestly, I think my whole selection with these tradition trees and how I've done the build is a little bit off, but this was a good learning experience, if nothing else. And now we can do this! Leadership conditioning. Lovely. Okay, the Warlord is also very close there. So, Minister of Defense, brilliant, you are now an Architect of War. Meaning our ships build a lot faster and are cheaper. I'm also currently building the Mega Shipyard. It'll be the one mega structure we have available very soon. Okay, Forge Focus for you, and let's see, you are just going to be Overseer rank 3, so everyone will love us. You, okay, oh, Genius Armorer. Okay, so Genius Armorer would actually help us a lot versus the Scourge. The reason is, actually no, I'll probably go with armor, not shields. I was about to say, because the Scourge tend to bypass shields. But this just makes our ship so much cheaper. Yeah, cheaper and faster to build. So that's a 20% discount, a full 20% discount on all of our ships, and a plus 60% increase to our build speed with them. Now, the Warlord is authoritarian, so they cannot become the Architect of War. But if they have Genius Armorer, that's okay, and if they have any of the bonuses like that, that should be okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's kind of a shame that the Labor Intendant has to be a general. I would love another marshal, sorry, another admiral, but this is just how it is for now. One more Leviathan taken out. My voice is also completely breaking now. I don't know if I actually said it at the start, but I've been travelling around recently. I had the distinct pleasure of being in Germany for Oktoberfest, and I have caught the fun flu, which went around everywhere for a good while and is still deep within our hearts and minds. And yeah, my throat is utterly destroyed. But I really wanted to play Stellaris, so here we are today. Okay, finally, Ascension Theory is unlocked. I'm just about to finish Unyielding. This was almost completely for Bulwark of Harmony, giving me more damage while I'm in my own territory, because honestly, I'm pretty nervous about all this. We could go with Become the Crisis. It's a bit light now. Or we could go with Master Builders. I am still building up the Mega Shipyard. I also want the Science Nexus if possible. I mean, it's a bit light now. But getting the Mega Shipyard operational and the Strategic Coordination Center would be really nice. More Navy capacity, more ship build speed. It would enable us to stay in the fight a lot longer. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to go with then. Well, there was one other Plant Empire over here, but it didn't really work out, sadly. Okay, at this point, outside of Unity, I think I'm actually looking quite good. I wish I kept attacking other empires over the last 10-15 years, but I was just so nervous about the endgame crisis arriving, I just kept everything in my borders, and definitely regretting that choice. Still, our fleets are looking pretty good. We also have the Juggernaut now up and running, so that's going to help out with our strike craft, since that's half of our damage for our fleets. I am going with the old-fashioned battleship spam, maybe not the best bet, but I go with what I'm comfortable with. So now I've got a choice. Do I start attacking? This empire over here has been attacking other empires nearby quite a lot recently. Yeah, as you can see, they're at war literally right now. So what I could do is attack them, start stealing populations, fill all the new habitats. The habitats are pretty empty. There's a lot of very empty habitats. I still need to make more as well, since my little side quest was to have a habitat in every single system, at least the ones possible. Yeah, a little bit behind on that now. Most of them were done until I ran over here to try and grab the matter decompressor, which did cost so much. Can you build this over a black hole? No, you can't. Okay. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, you can. It just didn't pop up. Huh, interesting. Oh, although I am actually a little bit nervous in case it cancels out the decompressor, so let's not do that just yet. Okay, 2314. We are now 15 years late for the endgame crisis. My fleets are looking actually pretty good now. I can probably take out the smaller fleets from pretty much any of the endgame crises, especially Scourge at this point. Although we are still using arc emitters, it wouldn't be difficult to swap over to the Tachyon Lance, and it is easier to counter Scourge weapons and other weapons because Strikecraft take out their Strikecraft, and your point defense take out their Strikecraft and missiles. You get the point, you can take out a lot of their damage. Now, our leader has finally reached level 8. Our warlord, and because I completely forgot Authoritarian has this, we now have Military Overseer. This increases how much influence I'm getting per month, which is actually very good right now, because although I still want more vassals, I still haven't maxed out the vassals I have, and that requires a lot of influence. Plus, I'm almost finished putting down all of the floating habitats, so that's wonderful news. But in addition to that, we get additional plus 25% military ship build speed and 500 extra experience when they're made, which means our battleships are actually starting off at very decent levels straight away. We have a general who's about to reach level 8, and eventually a governor, so with the governor we're probably just going to get another master bureaucrat, which is good for our tech, but that's just about it. I think I'm actually going to be okay. Could have played this way better, but considering how early it is and the fact I didn't really have an experience with this and I was a bit rusty, I'm happy enough with myself, but wow, were there some things I could have done differently this run. The endgame crisis has been kind to us, and yeah, really should have attacked a fallen empire or more empires, but on the upside, the matter decompressor has just finished, so yay for unlimited minerals for our empire, and I've just finished off unyielding, which took so long, because I have some of these active. And honestly, I'm tempted to now activate Scientific Revolution. No, I can't do that because I don't have enough unity. Tempted to swap that for Scientific Revolution for now. Then, we've got Galactic Wonders. As soon as we have the Dyson Sphere, I'll swap back over to building our megastructures faster. We're currently building the Coordination Center and the Science Nexus. They're both just on the minimum rank at the moment, so nowhere near being completed. But they are getting there slowly. Really should have been upgrading the heritage sites as well. The heritage sites are so good if you're a militarist, because they also give you a little bit of navy capacity. Not much, but enough that it's worth it, at least in my opinion. Not that's worth too much, but still. With the upgraded monuments, we can now also do this. It's amazing how just like 3 weeks away from this game, I am so rusty. It is unbelievable. Like, things which just came automatically to me, I'm just so confused by. It's utterly bizarre. Either way, we're now making the Dyson Sphere along with even more battleships. Fantastic. Our tech essentially is energy weapon repeatables, strikecraft repeatables, armor, just because armor's the spare one for engineering. So we should be really good versus most things. Well, we should be decent versus most things, as soon as the crisis eventually arrives. Several of our tracking stations have picked up peculiar subspace echoes coming from somewhere in the intergalactic space. The echoes are faint, but getting stronger, and they seem to be approaching our galaxy. Why is it always the Scourge with me? But anyway, the Scourge are on their way, which means what we need to do straight away is change up our ships. So battleships, I want you to have the Tachyon Lance and the plasma cannons. Oh yeah, because they've changed some of the energy weapons, haven't they? Yeah, sure, plasma cannon, that'll be fine. Let's go with that. Yeah, remember when I said I didn't want the breach point anywhere near me? Well, this is the breach point. So, yeah, they're gonna just arrive right on top of us, aren't they? The Covenant is also our major energy producer. Thankfully, the Dyson Sphere is now underway, and my economy has bounced a little bit since then, but I'm still waiting on all of the upgrades. So you're all fully upgraded, right? Yes. Okay, that's all well and good. You lot are still probably upgrading. In fact, a lot of you are. In fact, I think I ran out of alloys again doing this.
Colonization in progress.
Well, very soon we'll have the Scourge destroying us. Yay! Okay, so the choke point we're going to try and defend is this. As much as I want the Covenant to survive, I want myself to survive significantly more. And I'm now realizing that once again, I haven't put down any of the hyperlanes because, of course, I haven't been able to afford that because I very sillily decided, I know, every single system requires a habitat, which only costs 150 influence each. I was also going to put down a gateway, but once again, I kind of got distracted by all the other things I wanted to build, and now I'm going to put one down this late, because that's going to be totally helpful. Another reason why I should have put down a hyperline is because eventually I did make the Machine Empire one of our science vassals, so we have 2, and connecting to a science vassal gives you a research speed boost, which I literally remembered as I was saying this sentence. It's amazing, there is actually a difference between me healthy and me sick. You'd think it'd be just as bad, but no, it's significantly worse. Perfect. Yeah, so what's happening is I've set my battleships to cruiser mode, not cruiser, carrier mode, so they're trying to stay as far away as they possibly can. So they're just kiting the enemies, and these guys can't get close enough with their acid blasts to actually hit the battleships. They're still firing their missiles, but the missiles get taken out by the sheer amount of point defense in the battleship swarm. And that also happens with the larger enemies, so as long as we're in decently sized systems and I can just defend a choke point, we're going to be fine. So there's 2 fleets here, so this will prove or disprove the whole kiting thing, and yeah, it is definitely working. Lost just a couple of battleships, even though 2 of them stacked. We are, of course, making more back over at our mega shipyard. Further back, please, battleships. Okay, for the most part, that was alright, actually. I think it may have been my allies which just wandered in there for some reason. Yep, that's absolutely fine. I'm definitely making battleships faster than I'm losing them. So, with the larger enemies like that, there's some upsides and downsides in comparison to the smaller enemies. The downside is that that's a lot more health. Honestly, a lot more health, so more potential and more time in the fight for them to get too close, wander too close, and just obliterate a few ships. On the upside, though, there's a lot more reliance on the missiles and the strike craft. In fact, the small ones don't even have strike craft, but loads of strike craft there with the brood mothers and the hive queens, or whatever they're actually called, the swarm queens, which we just completely stop. We just can't be hurt by strike craft because we're just bundles of point defense. We have 2 new fleets on their way, 2 full fleets that is, one of which, oh, just got there, perfect timing there, well done, you can join the fight. And it looks like the enemy is sending wave after wave, one at a time, which is so good to see. I just keep on looking back at the map and being just so worried that all of these fleets have turned around. Oh, there's so many of them. But as long as we can just keep this position safe, then we can move to the next checkpoint, then the next checkpoint. The idea is we're just going to sweep after them slowly, keep their numbers a little bit lower until we have enough force that we can just barrel through them. Strikecraft always makes such interesting patterns. That is taking longer than expected. Please melt through that already. Yeesh. Okay, begin bombardment. Then we can start to move forwards. The strike craft looks terrifying from the Scourge perspective. They seem to be ignoring planets a lot more than they used to. Which is really weird. I mean, it's a lot easier for cleanup, but also incredibly weird. There's one over here, obviously. I've killed so many more of the large fleets, but there are still more bouncing around. I'm getting worried now that I might have to back off soon just to defend my own territory again. I was hoping to just keep following them, but yeah, they have expanded so quickly. It's probably not the best that I'm just holding back and just bombarding these worlds rather than chasing down the fleets. Oh, did it always have that smoke effect? Is that because we're bombarding it, or is that just an infested world's natural style? I don't remember that, but I could be mistaken. Now, annoyingly, we've lost one of our main admirals, one of the ones which have been around from the start. Thankfully, not one in our government, but still. And we've also lost our Leviathan. No, not Leviathan, the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut is being remade, however, so it will be back on the field as soon as possible. And that fleet has got behind us. What I'm hoping to do is clear up this little section first, otherwise this nook's going to be somewhere I have to come back to later. I don't know what this fleet's doing, it's been kind of just going back and forth for a while. The rest seem to be focusing on worlds now, which is good for us. Just need to keep it away from our territory whilst the Dyson Sphere and everything else completes. Okay, current plan. Small fleet stays back, bombards worlds. That way we don't have to find them in the future. The rest of the fleet moves on forward. We definitely have enough to take out the stations with either no losses or like 1 or 2 battleships which happen to get too close. That's fine. We're going to move to the left now. We've already taken out so many fleets, it is ridiculous. Thankfully, not even once have we came across one of these like clumps. I just have to be careful that we don't. We're much faster than them, so we can always run back and then go another way. I think 2 or 3 fleets and we lose everything. Simple as that. But one-on-one, they just can't win. And we are getting stronger every year. Even if, as you can see, I'm losing energy right now, I'm losing food, and my tech is worse than it was because I've essentially lost 2 vassals. We're going to move left, clear out all this. That way, we're not going to lose the Foundry and the Imperium. Then we're going to try and defend the Consciousness. So scoop around the Galactic Core, try and defend the Consciousness, though honestly, I think it might be beyond saving. The Scourge are doing such a good job at spreading out this time compared with the usual. Okay, now it's where things are getting dangerous. Okay, you're just happily bombarding that. You are doing what? You were going this way. Okay, now you've turned around. I don't know what you're doing. You've been there for ages. Oh, you're just about to finish off destroying a world. How lovely. I'm guessing you're doing the same. Nope, you're hunting down worlds. Oh, the Foundry is doomed, though I am now turning towards the Foundry. What do you have over here? So 1, 2, 3 of the big fleets, 4 of the big fleets, 1 of the small. That's actually not as much as I thought. There is 1 fleet behind us, which I didn't notice until now. But I'm still surprised. I actually thought they had more than they did. That is really good to see. I can't build any more fleets just yet because we are losing energy very quickly. I'm having to sell alloys constantly. Though thankfully the Dyson Sphere is just about to reach its next level. Please just be a station. Lovely. I'm not being ambushed just yet. I think we've got this. Just slowly. There we are. Dyson Sphere rank 2 is now active. Dyson Sphere rank 3 is beginning. Finally, our energy reserves in the plus. How beautiful. Oh, I almost got ambushed then, I think. No, never mind, you've only just arrived there. I was about to say. Okay, there's a world here which really needs our ground forces to get nice and close. I'll teleport there for now, then I'll try and teleport later. I really want to take out these 2, but honestly, they're not doing too much. So maybe taking out these 2, because I think these are some of the ones from down here that have turned around. They've retreated back into themselves. Are kind of doing alright, actually. Yeah, all of you just stay there for now. You just destroyed a fleet. Let's see if this fleet will come to us. Okay, in which case, there's the hyper relay. We'll go to them. I love watching the strike craft just get demolished by our strike craft. For a second, I thought the Juggernaut went down again. Please don't take out the Juggernaut. That would be lovely. One battleship, Some corvettes. How did those corvettes even get back into the fleet? I must have reinforced on the fleets. Anyway, we're doing fine. That's one more fleet down. Let's take out this fleet next. Yep, that's fine. We'll be teleporting from here. This system also has just extra cloaking strength. The systems with less sublight speed, they're the ones where I do the best, because it just allows the strikecraft to do everything they want. Take out that, take out this world, or at least leave something attacking that world, take out this fleet, that fleet, that fleet, then these two are safe, then turn around and try and go underneath and attack this. Ignore the top section near the Chosen. Ooh, I wonder if I'll eventually go through the wormhole and actually destroy the Chosen Island. If they get over here, I'm keeping the Scourge here as pets. Okay, just that Vanguard left over there. You've turned around, and two of you have turned around. Okay. There's like a few more spawned in. That's still being bombarded because someone's came along and is now using the weaker bombardment stance. They'll get there eventually. We're all getting there eventually. Now remember, every couple of years, even though my tech isn't great, especially my empire size, I am still doing repeatable. So we are going to go faster and faster, and clearly we can defend our own territory. It's just taking longer than usual. It's nice seeing the smaller groups now and then. Okay, that's all done. Turn back around. Let's get back to pushing these away from this border. Go there for now. Barren world. Sorry, world. We are now the Galactic Custodian. That took so long to go through, but what I can do instantly is this, a united front. Once this passes, we'll be doing plus 20% bonus damage to the endgame crisis. Faster. Melt it. No, don't let the Strikecraft split. Oh, Strikecraft AI, you are the worst thing in this game, and I love you so much, but... Ooh, pretty colours.
Planetary invasion commenced.
Come on, finished off the station. There we go. Okay, the enemy's nice and far away. The Strikecraft are already swarming it, so its missiles and Strikecraft will be useless. Fantastic. Everything's fine.
Receiving communications.
Oh, I was very worried then. No, I don't want to join the Federation, because that'll tank my Navy capacity, which is already very bad. A united front is now active, and I have something I've never seen before. So our Marshal over here, our General, now has Esteemed Quartermaster. This means our soldiers produce even more Navy capacity, and we also get extra planetary defense. I didn't really have too many soldiers, but now I am building strongholds absolutely everywhere. So soon enough, we should be absolutely fine for our Navy capacity, and we can start pushing a lot more fleets again. Because what I'm hoping is soon, I can have two separate fleets, which can both take out single enemy fleets without too many losses. I'm so close to that amount right now. And then we can just split up and start doing everything we want to. There are so many worlds around here which are very annoyingly infested. Okay, so that's a larger fleet, a larger fleet. Okay, so 3 large fleets there. Just took out one of the smaller ones. Again, there seems to be one fleet which pops out here, then pops back. I don't know what exactly it's doing, but I really want to clear this. So then it's just this square. It's just this one little, well, rather big area, but it's just this one area. I don't have to keep on separating, which is really annoying. But now we have United Front done. That's a lot of our work sorted, because we're suddenly 20% stronger out of nowhere. And now let's make the Galactic Defense Force. Ah, look at the little bird.
Attacking enemy vessels.
I know I've said it already in this video, but I just love watching Strikecraft devour other Strikecraft. Oh, you can really see the bonus damage now from the whole Custodian thing. Absolutely beautiful. Goodbye to the Scourge. And that is with 4 fleets currently doing other things. So, yeah, you can really tell the difference. Now, is there any other worlds currently infested? One there. Okay, you're leaving finally. You going here? That's what I assume you're going. Or you're just going to sit there. Okay. Try and go for those before they double back, otherwise that's going to cause a problem. There's only the one large fleet over there, I think, so... Maybe best to go round and go after those? Hard to say. That bonus 20% damage is exactly what we needed. We are now melting through these stations. So we're going to go through. Okay, that fleet has turned around. No, it's over there. Stop making new fleets. I just took one out and I thought you were down to one, but no, you have at least 2 more. Okay. Break through here. Break through that. Break through this. Go and destroy this fleet over here, which is just an utter nuisance. Oh my god, that trade value. What is going on here? Oh, you are a proper trade value empire. Well, you was. Currently you're being less consumer friendly. Actually, more consumer friendly. These are your consumers. Okay, the mega shipyard has been hard at work, so let's send this into all of the stuff up here. So I don't really want to send them into enemy fleets, but if they could just start taking out some of the stations and bombarding some of the worlds, that would be lovely. A lovely planty swarm is released. They started teleporting way too early then. Oh god, I can't talk anymore. Way too early. I wasn't paying attention, and I instantly threw this group. I said, I don't want to throw that against a fleet into a fleet. I think it was 2 fleets. I don't even know what that was. Well, on the upside, the fleet is now dead, so it did its job. I've had to move this fleet up here because, oh, it was the fleet down here that came back. No, it wasn't. Stop making fleets and confusing me. I have poor object permanence at the best of times. Yeah, this has to be new, this animation. I don't know how new, perhaps it was a few patches ago, but I love how the infested worlds look now. Do they look anything like that if you're a hive mind and you make your own infested worlds? They're just so gross. So annoyingly, it seems like they really don't want to go through this wormhole or do all that much to the Chosen outside of a single world here. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the Scourge as a pet, because I always find that way funnier than actually obliterating them. As you can tell at the moment, they're no longer a threat. We got past that stage fairly quickly. Thankfully, we had a good choke point. They didn't overwhelm us. They could have done very easily, but they didn't. So I'm going to obliterate all of the Scourge, except for in this cluster here. So I'm going to take this system. I'm going to take this system. I'm going to actually put down some outposts. Lovely. And I will fortify them into hyper citadels. This is where the Scourge stay now. They will forever be the buffer from the Chosen. The Chosen, now finally glimpsing freedom from their cluster, will never be able to leave as their punishment for their crimes. Because I've done nothing evil this run, but they are definitely evil. And as long as we point at the greater evil, we will be accepted. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little buffer here. Everyone's scared of the Scourge. Everyone's scared of the Chosen. Everybody loves me. Oh, headbutted this fleet. Thankfully, our battleships are quick and got out of range very quickly, but we definitely lost some that time. The lovely thing is as well, I've seen that the other empires are actually bombarding the infested world, so I don't really need to focus on that, which has been very, very welcome. Really close now, so we already have a station over here, we're building a gateway, and we have enough fleets to defend against pretty much all their sizes of fleets. Our Galactic Defense Force, along with the rest of our fleets, are over here clearing out all this space and checking for worlds, although thankfully, the AI is doing a really good job bombarding the worlds. As you can see, the entire galaxy is coming together, and for the most part, they're just focusing on blasting these worlds into nothing. So nothing I really have to do. The only thing I found they were really bad at is landing ground forces to save a world which was in the process of becoming infested. Really wish I had this event earlier. In a fiery speech, Baron declared that the nation's focus must be on expansion. He submitted 2 plans on how the fleet could use additional resources to further such a goal. Both options are valid and could benefit us greatly in the long run. However, implementing both plans at once is impossible. Extra fire rate and less claim cost, or way faster build speed of your ships and making them cheaper. Well, for now, we'll just increase fire rate so we can just deal with all these things a little bit quicker. But seriously, that earlier would have been glorious. Really glad I have these fleets ready already. Okay, now, don't go towards me. No, go the other way. Go towards the Chosen. Why must you be annoying? This is what you get for being annoying. the rest of the galaxy is really working together and causing an immense amount of lag. All of those fleets we were just looking at got instantly obliterated by this. For a second I was a little bit worried. I was thinking, oh no, are they actually going to be able to clear out all of the Scourge territory by themselves? Nope. Small ships, they just run right into them at this difficulty. They just get one shot by everything. Sent most of the ships through the wormhole over, sorry, the gateway over here. That'll still be enough, and I'm already building the station, so yeah, everything's fine here. Glory to the Galactic Imperium.
Spaceborne lifeform encountered.
Feels good to be the Emperor. No Scourge out of designated areas. It's kind of sad, because they're no longer in that Super Federation, they're no longer working together as well, so they're all just jumping here and there, unsure what to do as they destroy the odd world. On the upside, everybody loves me. We're increasing our loyalty, which means we'll be able to do the whole Pax Galactica, which means no one can fight anyone else, and, you know, I'm gonna say we're done. We have the 2 stations, we have the 2 gateways, we have an unlimited amount of resource, really, thanks to the Dyson Sphere and everything else. We have some very good vassals left. The vassals which were partially destroyed are now reclaiming their territory. Everyone likes me. There is not one single empire right now, outside of the Fallen Empire, who doesn't like me. This is now an incredibly peaceful community. Now, before we go, though, very important, I do want to discuss the actual origin and the changes made to the habitats. Because obviously, I didn't do it perfectly. Very clearly, I could have done better in this run. But, you know, learning experience, plus I'm a bit rusty from not playing for so long. What I will say is, overall, I love the changes. But I have one very small problem with them, and it is minor. They feel a bit too much like normal worlds now. I almost feel like they need a little something extra to make them feel more like the weird habitats goofiness of like before, but that could just be because of how weird habitats were before for me, so maybe that's just a weird residual effect of that. I think habitats in this form are definitely better, and I'm really looking forward to doing more runs with them, especially a more meta run. I can already think of a few builds which would just break the game, so I might do that in the future after the next full playthrough, which I'm already halfway through. It's weird having 2 full playthroughs going at once. Either way though, I really do hope you've enjoyed today's video, because it's been a long time since we've done a full playthrough. I really did. Although, again, would have changed a few things, and I really wish I wasn't sick while recording it. I'll be back soon with more Stellaris content, in addition to From the Depths content. So if you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Stellaris is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Tell me your opinions on the 3.9 update, and anything I may have missed. Also, glory to the Galactic Empress, Voidella.